Before we get into this, we need to clear up the name situation because it can get confusing. On his jersey and huddle page, he goes by Dayshawn Preston, but because most people know him from the Dougherty Dozen family, you will also hear him called Dayshawn Dougherty. For this video, I'm going to call him Preston, since that is the name he uses for football. The real question is whether Preston is actually a Division I football player or whether the attention around his family has made him look like a bigger prospect than he really is. A year ago, that was a fair debate. He was coming off a sophomore season where Pittsford won one game, he had 18 catches for 214 yards and one touchdown, and there was not much public recruiting movement. An older Reddit thread was filled with people saying he was too small, played against weak competition, and would probably end up at Division II or Division III. Some acted like the entire football story was manufactured for content. That argument is much harder to make now. The complete junior year stat card lists him with 58 catches, 720 receiving yards, 6 receiving touchdowns, 1,014 all-purpose yards, 41 tackles, and 8 interceptions. Those numbers matter because he was not hiding in one role. He was the top receiver, a starting corner, a return man, and occasionally a runner or trick play option. When a high school player is on the field that much, the easiest thing to do is look active without changing games. He actually changed them. He could make a catch on offense, flip the field on a return, and then take the ball away on defense. 8 interceptions is the number that jumps off the page because quarterbacks eventually stop throwing toward corners who keep taking the ball. His receiving production was good, but it needs to be explained honestly. 720 yards and 6 touchdowns do not make him a national 5-star receiver. There are high school receivers around the country putting up much larger numbers in wide-open offenses. But Pittsford was not built to throw the ball 40 times every Friday. Preston averaged a little over 12 yards per catch, moved the chains, made plays downfield, and created value in other parts of the game. In that offense, 58 catches was a major workload. The first thing I like on offense is how quickly he gets into his route. He does not waste steps at the line. His feet are active, he can threaten vertically, and he understands that the easiest way to create space is to make the corner believe he can run past him. His huddle page lists a 4.4840, although listed 40 times should always be treated carefully. The better proof is his track background. He has run 6.61 in the 55 meters, 11.37 in the 100, and 51.89 in the 400. That tells us he has real speed, burst, and enough conditioning to play both ways. Preston is trained with former Maine receiver Ernest Edwards, and you can see the focus on his feet, breaks, and getting out of routes without drifting. His junior season also showed growth as a leader. He was named a captain before he was a senior. From everything around his training, he does not appear satisfied simply because he has attention. He talks openly about wanting Division I football, works with position trainers, competes in track, attends camps, and keeps putting himself in front of college coaches. His work ethic does not guarantee that he becomes a star, but it gives him a real chance to keep improving instead of being the same player he was as a junior. Now let's talk about the part of his game that may give him the highest college ceiling. Cornerback. If I were recruiting Preston, I would list him as an athlete and let him compete at both receiver and defensive back. But I would begin with a serious look at corner. 8 interceptions, receiver-level hands, good short area movement, and the willingness to play the ball make him naturally valuable there. College teams are always looking for defensive backs who can create turnovers. A corner who only stays close is useful. A corner who can give the offense extra possessions can change games. His strength numbers suggest contact should not scare him. Huddle lists him around 5'11" and 180 pounds with a 295-pound bench press. The older criticism about his size was never as strong as people thought. 5'11" is not huge, but it is not a disqualifying height at receiver or corner. Preston now has 2 public Division I FCS offers from Merrimack and LIU. That proves the people saying he had almost no chance to play Division I football were wrong. These are not Power 4 offers, and nobody should pretend they are. FCS is still Division I football, though, and those staffs do not offer players only because someone has a famous family. The social media reach may help coaches find his film, but it does not create 8 interceptions, win a playoff game, or convince a staff that a player can survive on Saturdays. Right now, I would describe Preston as a legitimate FCS prospect with a chance to push into the lower FBS conversation during his senior year. I would not call him a national recruit, a Power 4 lock, or an NFL prospect. That would be getting far ahead of the evidence. He is a good regional player who has turned himself into a real college recruit. His next step is showing that his junior breakout was the start of something, not the peak. The most important returning player around him is quarterback Brody Pusateri. Their connection gives Pittsford an advantage because a senior receiver does not have to spend the first month teaching a new quarterback where he wants the ball. For Preston's senior numbers, I am projecting 67 catches for 925 yards and 9 receiving touchdowns. I also think he adds around 150 rushing yards, 1 rushing score, and enough return production to finish close to 1,300 all-purpose yards. On defense, I have him around 46 tackles, 6 interceptions, and double-digit pass breakups. So how good is Dayshawn Preston actually? He is better than the old internet conversation gave him credit for, but he is not yet the high major star that social media attention can sometimes make a player seem like. He is a real two-way football player with strong ball skills, verified track athleticism, meaningful playoff production, and actual Division I offers. The best current projection is a scholarship-level FCS athlete who could play corner, receiver, special teams, or some mix of all 3. His senior year will decide whether that label changes. If he gets close to 1,000 receiving yards, continues taking the ball away, performs well at camps, and shows that his speed holds up against better competition, more schools will come. If the offer list stays where it is, that is still not a failure. Going to a program that truly values his versatility may be better than chasing the biggest logo and sitting for 3 years. The goal should be finding a staff with a real plan for him. The biggest mistake people make with Preston is judging the story before it is finished. A year ago, people looked at a 1-8 team, modest stats, and a famous family and decided the dream was unrealistic. 1 season later, he helped Pittsford reach a championship game, produced more than 1,000 all-purpose yards, intercepted 8 passes, and earned Division I opportunities. That does not guarantee anything beyond high school, but it proves that he has already moved the conversation through his play. Now, he gets one final season to show how high the ceiling really is.